Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Brews with Brian, a craft beer review podcast. Craft beer is beer that is brewed in smaller breweries, not these big corporate machine breweries that we're all aware of. Craft beer is made with patience and time, and the people that brew this stuff actually care about the product they're delivering, and I'm very thankful for that. I got into craft beer 2 or 3 years ago, and it's just opened my eyes to the beer world, especially the craft beer world, and just the different styles and the flavors and the complexities that this beer has. On today's episode, I'm going to be reviewing Oakspire, Bourbon Barrel Quad, and Pineapple Habanero Hop Dang Diggity. Try to say that 3 times fast. But let's kick this show off. First up on today's show, we have Oakspire. Oakspire is from New Belgium Brewing Company out of Fort Collins, Colorado. Oakspire has an ABV of 9%, and it's got a rotating availability. The description from the website says, a limited edition collaboration between New Belgium and Knob Creek. Oakspire is a unique bourbon barrel aged with bourbon-steeped oak spirals and char from the inside of the barrel. Smooth notes of toffee, vanilla, and caramel wrap up with a pleasantly warm finish. Oakspire, where innovation meets tradition. This beer pours a red-orange color with good clarity and a beige head that settles fairly quickly. The aroma is of a lot of sweet, corny bourbon and a very noticeable woody char. Toasty wood and vanilla brings a toffee and bourbon candy sort of aroma. Underlying malt seems to have a candy sweetness of its own, and the hops bring just a touch of dry, grassy, and earthy notes. Tasting the beer, there is a hefty dose of wood char right up front, and it sticks around as sort of a baseline for this beer. Plenty of sweet bourbon character, toasty wood, and pleasant vanilla and toffee. A malt base has a candied sort of flavor. Earthy hops balance just enough and don't make too much noise. Bourbon and some mild alcohol bitterness on the finish. It's got a thick mouthfeel with ample carbonation that provides a bit of lift. This is not a bad beer at all. It is heavy on the char flavor that is a bit too noticeable at times. It is a big sipper for sure that seems to be designed mainly to showcase the bourbon and the oak infusion, and it did it really well. But overall, I'm giving Oakspire 4 stars. And next up on the show, we have Bourbon Barrel Quad from Boulevard Brewing Company out of Kansas City, Missouri. Bourbon Barrel Quad has an ABV of 11% and a rotating availability. The description from the website says, based loosely on the Smokestack series The Six Glass, this Abbey-style quadruple is separated into a number of oak bourbon barrels where it ages for varying lengths of time, some for up to 3 years. Cherries are added to make up for the angel share of beer lost during barrel aging. Selected barrels are then blended for optimum flavor. The resulting beer retains only very cherry characteristics with toffee and vanilla notes coming to the fore. This beer pours a cloudy caramel brown with a light amber hue color, 2 fingers of light tan head that dissipate pretty quickly. You get a very strong, boozy bourbon aroma almost immediately. Toffee and cherry notes are noticeable in a subtle manner with a touch of vanilla. Now, tasting this beer, the cherry jumps out a little more than the smell would suggest right away, but it fades into the background compared to the bourbon notes of this beer. Caramel, toffee, vanilla, and just a touch of banana Belgian yeast flavor is there. A lot of sweet alcohol is present later in the finish, along with some raisins. The taste is where this beer really shines and evolves with each sip as it warms. It has lively carbonation at first, which mellows as it warms up. Substantial alcohol warmth, but it's not hot. It doesn't burn you like if you just took a shot of whiskey. It's full-bodied and not syrupy or really sweet. At first, I thought the base beer would be completely dominated by the barrel notes, but it wasn't. The bourbon and cherry flavors are still more upfront than the quad notes, but as it warms, the dark fruit and hearty bready notes of a quad really shine. This is one of the best quads I've had in a long time, so I suggest you try it. Overall, I'm giving Bourbon Barrel Quad from Boulevard Brewing Company 4 stars. And our last beer on today's show is Pineapple Habanero Hop Dang Diggity from Jekyll Brewing out of Alpharetta, Georgia. Pineapple Habanero Hop Dang Diggity has an ABV of 6.7% and it's available in the summer months. The description from the website says IPAs are known for their hops, so we thought we'd give it something new. We tapped refreshing pineapple and habanero for the bill. Hops and pineapple mesh together like a fine linen. That just a touch of heat from the habanero for something truly special. This beer pours a hazy golden orange with almost 2 fingers of white head. The aroma is of mild habanero pepper, grapefruit, pineapple, orange rind, and some faint crackery malt. Now tasting this beer, you get citrus peel, mild juicy pineapple, mandarins, faint pepper flavor, and subtle crackery malt. The adjuncts are faint, but certainly complementary, adding an interesting twist to an already solid IPA. Slick, medium body with moderate carbonation, citrus, pineapple, and a dull, subtle nip of habanero play on the palate in the finish. Pineapple and habanero add soft complements to Hop Dang Diggity rather than dominant flavors. I wouldn't have minded if they dialed it up just a little bit, because this is a highly drinkable version of Jekyll's year-round IPA. But if it had a little bit more habanero in it, or a little bit more pineapple, I wouldn't have been upset. But definitely give this thing a try. I saw it at the store, and it just something different. I thought it'd be good, and I was right. But overall, I'm giving Pineapple Habanero Hop Dang Diggity from Jekyll Brewing 4 stars. And that is it for today's episode of Brews with Brian. On today's episode, I reviewed Oakspire from New Belgium Brewing Company, Bourbon Barrel Quad from Boulevard Brewing Company, and Pineapple Habanero Hop Dang Diggity from Jekyll Brewing Company. You can find our show on social media. Twitter is Brews W. Brian, Facebook Brews with Brian, and Instagram Brews with Brian. You can find the show on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, YouTube, and Spotify. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.